First, it's the rumors of flying ships coming from the space between the stars, and now it's an army of silly-dressed mages casting a cacophony of fireball spells from their iron rods. The resulting smoke is making it incredibly difficult for you to get in close and use your small blades to the best of your abilities. But when you are, close in quickly to get a clear look at this army. Make out the leathery, inked skin below their uniforms, and your first thought is demon, but no. You know they look exactly like the river horse of Okari. Memory from another life on Karator. Grit your teeth as you hunker down and begin to slowly creep through the fog to the closest one. Silently you approach, and seemingly without notice, the river horse drops its fire stick and lets out a haunting bellow before drawing its saber and lowering its head, readying for a charge. Instead, you decide to test your theory. You leap up and strike out with one dagger across the back of the leg to sever the tendon, and the other directly through the neck. But your knife stops short. You drop the dagger in your offhand and leap from the ground to force all of your weight through the pommel of the dagger at the neck, and with more than a little resistance, it pushes all the way through. You cradle the body to the ground and hope that none of the others notice the missing rank, and with one foot on its chest you pull your dagger free from its neck. You locate the other blade, wipe both of them clean on the fallen creature's uniform before fading back into the fog. In your head, you hear the voice of your cleric. What have you learned? They look like the river horses of Karatur. Large beasts on 2 legs, large mouths, and very, very thick skin. Your theory was correct. The magic is coming from their iron wands, but they're unlike any wands I've ever seen. Roll an Arcana check. Hey there, creatures, and welcome to Encounter This, a podcast exploration of the creatures from Dungeons & Dragons and the lore that surrounds them.
Hello there, creatures. Welcome to another episode of Encounter This, where James and Freeman have both experienced a little bit of rain recently. I don't know about you, but I, despite our very difficult timing constraints and schedules, I feel a little more energized than the last one and a couple months ago. But yeah,
I saved up all of my errands for like 2 months because I could not handle going out in 30-degree weather, and I did them all on that day that it rained.
Oh man, amazing! Yeah, that was a glorious feeling to have a little bit of moisture in the air. But we are here, of course, not to talk about the local weather, but to have James, the Behemoth Kid, run myself, Freeman, the Brigadier Easton, and, of course, all of you faithful listeners through a creature known as the Giff. It's not Giff, is it? Oh, no. Are we going to go down that road?
We're calling it a Giff.
Okay, we're going Giff. The old Giff is found on on page 204 of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Take it away, James.
So I don't think talking about the rain was entirely off topic because these creatures would probably very much enjoy the rain.
And why is that?
Well, for those of you who are unaware, the Giff is also known as the Hippofolk. So they are anthropomorphized hippopotami.
Ah, hippopotami. That's fun.
I'm not sure if that's the proper pluralization, but we're going with it because it works with octopus, so we're going to go with hippopotami.
Well, I don't know if you know, but the true plural of octopus is not octopi; it is octopuses, and it has to do with its Greek roots, I believe.
It definitely does.
I believe if it's a Latin root, then you go the I, but if it's a Greek root, you go the es plural, I think.
Yes, that is absolutely true, but octopi is still a recognized plural, as is hippopotami. I just Googled it.
I would imagine it's mostly because of continued general use, even though it's technically wrong, it doesn't really matter because that's how language works.
And it sounds way better.
It does. It really does.
Both are correct, but I'm going to go with hippopotami. You do, you listener. They stand about 7 to 9 feet tall, and they are about as muscular as you would think, which is to say incredibly. For those of you who have been sleeping on the hippopotamus, it is a very, very frightening animal.
They are like one of the most dangerous animals in the world, aren't they?
Yeah, they have a really intense bite force. Like, they can bite through solid steel. They're really quick to anger. They're fast and heavy. Like, they're like water bears without actually being tardigrades. The Giff are omnivores, and they have about a 70-year lifespan. One thing you will see in common throughout all the artwork is that they dress in quote-unquote gaudy military uniforms. That is a direct quote from Mordenkainen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're particularly gaudy, but they're very reminiscent of like 1800s, 1700s British uniforms. They've got the tasseled epaulets, the jodhpurs tucked into their boots, like white silk gloves, like double-breasted jackets. And most of them carry medals.
Yeah, hilarious, like colonial, like American colonial, like inspired, like get-ups. I love them. I think they're hilarious and awesome at the same time.
They're very, very classic.
Should we just talk about the artwork right now then, or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we have artwork from 2E here, which is all rendered in black and white, and kind of looks like the cover of a James Bond parody book.
Yeah, it does. I love all the medals across his breasts.
Yeah, or like if we mixed Old MacDonald with Clue, this would be Colonel Mustard.
It's almost a little hard to tell. My instinct says it's a monocle on the far side eye, but it almost looks like maybe he lost his eye and he's got a fake eye in at the same time.
That's 100% a monocle.
It is okay. It's so weird. Yeah, and just holding a revolver up in the air. Like it's no big deal.
It's pretty much straight up a Smith. I think it's Smith & Wesson Peacemaker. Like it is an old fashioned revolver where the barrel does not get removed. You fill it in the gun.
Okay.
The 3E art, we have a hippo boy with tails and on his jacket, and a flintlock pistol stuffed into his waistband at attention.
Yeah, I almost didn't notice that, but that's great.
Oh, the tails? Yeah.
No, the waistband. Like I noticed the gun, but I didn't notice it was in the waistband because you can see the end of it coming out rather than it just be tucked in his trousers.
Right. Not the greatest art, but I'll try and find a better rendering of that. And then we have the 5E art, which is absolutely incredible.
It's so good.
He's got a monocle on. He's got those tasseled epaulets. He's got the jodhpurs tucked into his boots. He's got a saber with a tassel on it.
Yeah.
He's got a belt dagger, a bunch of pouches, and he's holding a stubby musket. Like, it's absolutely fantastic. This is not a flintlock pistol.
And it's some sort of steampunk pipe in his mouth.
Yeah, awesome. I called it a clockwork pipe in my notes.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's just incredible. It looks like a steam engine, like a miniaturized steam engine.
Yeah, fucking love it.
They're so good. What this artwork doesn't represent is that under these uniforms, the Giff will ritually tattoo themselves with iconography of their accomplishments. So if this pipe-smoking general boy has won a bunch of battles, he will tattoo himself with icons of those battles.
Oh, cool.
They are as strong as a hill giant, which is wild.
Yeah, because they're going to be hill giants are going to be much taller and larger, eh? Technically, at least
not a whole lot.
Yeah, by like well, I mean, are these large creatures? Should we wait to talk about that? Let's wait to talk about that.
Yes and no. This is anyway. But as I'm sure the listeners have picked up, all of these drawings have pistols, and one of the things that Giff are renowned for is their martial training and absolute love of explosives. So we'll go into that a little bit more later.
I love that you accidentally put in the notes your marital training and then love for explosives.
Yeah. Yeah. And they are from another crystal sphere in the Realmspace. So they are not from Abertoral. They're from somewhere else. Mm-hmm. We don't know where, and it's theorized that they accidentally blew up their home planet.
That's amazing. So we're getting into a little bit of our Wilds of Space episode when we talked about lithids and mind flayers and stuff.
I think they have more of a connection to the Giff, but
okay,
yeah, the mind flayers and lithids would definitely know of these creatures.
Oh yeah.
So in their society, they are devoted to their children. Most of the education as a youngling is about fighting and war. So they're about as smart as humans, but they can seem kind of dumb due to the narrow focus of their education.
Okay.
Every aspect of their society is rank and file, like the military. So each Giff has their own rank, and they must follow orders from superiors, and they can all give orders to lower ranks.
Gotcha.
And then promotions within these ranks are based on valor, which you would then tattoo on your body.
So yeah, based on your performance.
Yep. And because of all these things, their ability to follow orders, their love of explosives, their martial training, they are high in demand as mercenaries throughout the realm space. However, they will only serve in Giff-only units, and they will not fight solo. They will only fight in a squad.
Oh. So by serve, do they mean like the Giff military, or does that mean like if you were to somehow roll this creature as a PC, like would they just not? It's just not an option. They just won't do it.
It's not really an option to roll them as a PC. Mm-hmm. So there is no centralized Giff society.
Okay.
When I talk about Giff society, I'm talking about like brigades, like war bands, like this one ship of Giff is its own society. They all follow the same rules, but like if you're from a different ship or a different band, you're not going to be promoted into my band.
Right. So they don't have like a universal structure that governs them all, but rather they have a universal culture that they each ship or allotment or group of Giff would use as their foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why they will only fight in a squad. When you hire Giff, you hire a battalion or a ship of Giffs.
Right.
You don't hire a single Giff. They're not assassins. They're mercenaries.
Gotcha. I love it, but it just makes me angry because I want to play one at the same time.
There are exceptions to every rule.
Yeah. A Giff only campaign. Let's do this.
Yeah. Sure. Through the multiverse. Yeah.
Why not?
But because of this respect and this training, they will absolutely refuse to fight other Giffs. So they will turn down contracts that stipulate they do so. And if it's an unexpected surprise, both Giff parties will sit out of a conflict. So if I hire an army of Giff or a battalion of Giff and you hire a battalion of Giff and we don't know that each other have hired a battalion of Giff and we send them at each other, they're just not going to do anything. They're just
They'll see other Giff and be like, nope. Not the job I signed up for.
So if you bring a battalion of Giff and a battalion of ogres and I just bring a battalion of Giff, your battalion of Giff will sit out while my battalion of Giff destroy your ogres.
Right. Oh, man. Crazy. You're like, I got 2 battalions. We'll totally kick their ass. And then one of them just like, nope, not going to engage. Like, wait a second. Yeah.
But, if I brought a battalion of Woodwoad and you brought a battalion of ogres, your Giff would destroy my Woodwoad, my Giff would destroy your ogres. And then they would just stop.
Right. I wonder what percentage of the final cut is the down payment for hiring one of these.
Probably all of it, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, that's too funny. That would be a tough lesson learned the hard way as an employer.
Yeah. And there's a quote here about Giff society, and that is, life is fleeting, but the regiment endures for generations or even centuries. So the regiment is the ship or the battalion or whatever their social group is they refer to as the regiment. Very, very British to match their uniforms.
Yes. A regiment of Giff. I like it.
Yeah.
What do you call a group of hippopotamus? Do we know?
I think it's a pod.
A pod of hippopotami? Oh, they're called a bloat.
Crash, bloat, herd, or pod.
Oh, pod works too? Okay, cool. I think bloat's my favorite. It seems so weird. But regiment's good too. I like it.
I think I might just start using regiment as a collective noun from here on out.
Yeah, it's pretty all right.
And in these regiments, since they're so martial focused, you don't normally get
casters, though some Giff have been known to become wizards or clerics, etc. Very, very few, and none that I could find have ever become sorcerers. I guess they just don't have innate magic.
Yeah, I guess maybe just no. So wizards, clerics, yeah, so they'd be bestowed power by the divine, or can learn it through the arcane, which would probably never see it through a bloodline sort of aspect like a sorcerer would. I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's possible for their physiology to somehow adopt that along the way. Be an interesting thing to explore. Should you want, someone want to run a campaign around these creatures?
And to that note, they have no religion as a people, but they will sometimes worship the gods of those who have hired them. So, like, maybe the dwarven god of war or the orc god of war, depending on who hired them.
Did it specify the word worship? Do you recall?
They did. It did. Yep. It absolutely did.
Because I always find, I always interpret worship as like, truly taking on that god, as opposed to like in some circumstances where people will pay homage to multiple gods, based on the scenario, which is legitimate without having to be like, a proper acolyte of some such.
Yeah, I think the meaning here is that they do fully take on that worship, but it's not. It's only as long as they're in service of.
Okay.
And as we talked about, they love explosions, so they favor muskets and grenades. They are highly skilled with gunpowder, which is yet another reason they are prized as mercenaries, and love rising to the challenge of building large explosives. And if you wanted to hire one of these guys, you could also just pay them in gunpowder instead of gold, gems, or whatever currency. Like they'll just take a barrel of gunpowder.
Yeah, that's cool. I know you have you yourself have a lot of opinions or thoughts on the use of gunpowder in these settings, like as far as preference goes for the worlds you build and want to play in. Do you plan on talking about that a little later? Or?
I didn't, but I can. Yeah. And I think I do have a line of separation there, and it's campaigns that take place in Realmspace versus campaigns that take place on Abertoral.
Sure, totally. Yeah, I can follow that.
It's very different because, as we know, Mind Flayers have some sort of laser weapon. I think the Giff have something very similar. Mm-hmm. The Starspawn have something very similar. So it only kind of makes sense that they're not running around with bows and arrows, just because the Realmspace is kind of a different setting altogether. So
right.
It's showing up every now and again in the Forgotten Realms. I'm not going to march out of a game, but I'm certainly not going to write it in.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I just put a little note for myself there for later to re-initiate the topic, should we feel like it.
Okay. And that's pretty much it for D&D lore. They only appear in 2, 3, and 5, and there's not a whole lot to speak of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. They sound like a fun thing that makes me wish they would redo Starjammer as a setting for 5e. Something that hasn't been properly fleshed out, I believe, since 2nd edition, if I recall correctly. And it's one of the probably one of the most, if not, it's definitely niche, but it's definitely a very sought after setting to have a refresher on. And when we covered all that stuff with the Illithids and covered all that information in the Wilds of Space, like, a lot of that came from early D&D lore, and it was cool stuff. Like it's very much out of the realm of high fantasy. But it is still the way they originally designed it was still made it strongly connected to it. With these ships, like, they're not powered by some unknown fuel source; they're magical. They are, and they have to use like a physical, magical, misunderstood element in those wilds of space to travel along. So there is an enhancement in technology in general in that whole side of things, but it's not so far into the future that it's laser beams and shit like that. And I just, these guys like fit squarely into that setting and theme. And I've definitely always wanted to see more of that and explore it.
Yeah, I do too. I haven't found a lot of science fantasy that I like, much less love, but everything I know about Spelljammer, I love.
Yeah.
I think the idea of spaceships being powered by magic is really awesome.
Like, you're literally on a sailboat, but in space, protected and powered by magic. And you're, instead of going from this town to that dungeon, you're world hopping, and it's a cool blend of the two ideas.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to play in a long-term campaign, but, a short couple of one-shots or a small, 5 or 6 session game, I think I could really get down with.
Yeah.
All right. We have one single honorable mention here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Giff known as the Brigadier.
That's me.
That's you. They are a shopkeeper in Skullport from a book of the same name, and we'll have a link to Skullport. I think a PDF you can buy in the show notes. Skullport is I think it's a lore book. I cannot remember now, and my notes are garbage. But it is located 1.5 miles beneath Waterdeep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I believe it's a port in the Underdark.
Do you know if it makes an appearance in the oh god, what's that adventure called?
Dungeon of the Mad Mage?
That's the one.
Or Waterdeep Danger Heist? Or
no, Dragon Heist is the build up to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Okay. Yeah.
I do not know. I also didn't see any reference to it appearing in Out of the Abyss.
Okay.
I don't believe it was listed in the credits on the Forgotten Realms wiki where I found this character. Mm-hmm. Well, that's it. That's the D&Ds.
Them's the D&Ds. The dank and dangerouses.
The dank and dangerouses, yeah. So, I didn't even begin to know how to go looking for cultural lore for a British anthropomorphic hippo with a gun.
I mean, did you just try typing that in Google?
I did, yeah.
What did it come up with?
So okay. Well, let's start with one.
Okay.
So, in 1928, a hippo left her watering hole in St. Lucia, Zululand. Mm-hmm. And over a course of 3 years, she traveled 1.6 kilometers to East London in 1931. Not East London, England, East London, Africa.
Okay.
There she visited a beach, country club in Durban, and was declared a protected royal game. And her name was Huberta or Huberta.
Okay.
Unfortunately, so this is the farthest we've ever logged a hippo traveling on land.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's no small amount.
Yeah, she was eventually shot and killed by a farmer, unfortunately. But the farmer was arrested and fined 25 GBP, which was no small amount in 1932.
I imagine, yeah.
The best part is that she was taxidermied and still exists in a museum in South Africa today. Yeah.
Oh, there's a picture of Huberta. Oh,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's so the most famous real-world hippopotamus.
That's so funny.
As for animated characters, we have one from Marvel Comics, Mrs. Fluffy Lumpkins, who was a hippopotamus who was anthropomorphized and given intelligence by, I think, the leader, who now goes by it turns out Mrs. Fluffy Lumpkins was actually a man, and he now goes by the incredible thematic villain name of Hippo.
Hippo, previously known as Mrs. Fluffy Lumpkins.
Yep.
That is really weird. I don't have any words. Really.
Yeah, he's like a Gamma tier Spider-Man villain.
I love that Marvel or all comics really have their approach to throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks was to just straight up, print it.
Yeah.
They didn't wait to see if it should be printed. They just printed it to see what would happen.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think at this time there would have been 4 Spider-Man books, 4 Spider-Man titles a month. So that is 4 books, 4 titles, and each one of those titles was printed either 4, 2, or I think there was one Spider-Man title that was monthly.
Okay.
Which is upwards of 9 books of Spider-Man a month. They've only
Crazy.
got one editor-in-chief. He's not going to improve every dumb character.
Yeah, that's so good.
And then the next one we have on the list is the hippopotamus ballerina from Fantasia, who is either unnamed or is named Ballerina Hippo.
Okay. Amazing.
And then we have probably my favorite example on this list, Peter Potamus, a Hanna-Barbera creation.
Oh.
I don't know him from the Adventures of Peter Potamus, but I know him as being the shifty weird guy in Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, and I love him in that.
That's awesome. Oh man, I feel like I semi-recognize the artwork for that, but I don't really at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess you never watched Birdman, eh?
Not really, no. I've heard it's pretty
Okay.
great, but I haven't.
You'd get a kick out
I
of
used to catch a couple episodes on like late night Teletoon way back when.
Yeah.
But not
They're
really.
like 15 minutes long.
I used to watch a lot of C Lab.
Oh, yeah.
C Lab was great.
And then the last one we have on the list, I don't have a picture of, but I thought it was really cool. In the book of Job, they refer to a creature known as the behemoth, and it is widely believed that that is a hippopotamus.
Oh, okay. You mean there's no pictures in the Bible?
Well, I actually don't know. I'm sure there is a Bible with pictures, but I read the King James Bible, and there were decidedly no pictures.
Well, that's a shame, isn't it? You know, pictures. Pictures.
Yeah, it wasn't a great book. It wasn't. It didn't grip me like I thought it would.
Had they at least included some photographs, it might be more believable.
Yeah, fair enough. So normally that would bring us to our differences section, but I have written here, not today, bud, because what in God's name are we going to compare this to? Mrs. Fluffy Lumpkins? Nope.
Mostly I want to know if a real-life hippopotamus is stronger than a hill giant. Or as strong.
I'm sure D&D has a hippo. We could just look at the stat block of that.
That's possible. But what I want to know is about the real-world hill giants, obviously.
Oh, I don't think D&D has a stat block for those.
That's lame. Well, then we go to mechanics, I guess. Freeman unsatisfied.
Well, you can revel in the darkness with your blackmail stout.
Oh, yes, please. Let us crack a brew for the wilds of space.
The delicious darkness of the blackmail Northwest Stout from Strange Fellows.
Oh, the perfect beer to drink in the void between the stars.
Yes, agreed.
Yes.
No further questions.
All right, mechanics time. What do you got?
They are a CR3, so pretty
Okay.
low, all things considered.
Yeah, low. Although it's not entirely unsurprising with that emphasis on, squad, regiment, battalion, whatever. Like they're always come in numbers. So their true CR is in the full group as opposed to the individual.
Yeah. Each individual has 60 HP and an AC of 16. It is a breastplate.
Okay. So they wear a breastplate under their fancy coats, or their coats are the equivalent. They are reinforced the equivalency of a breastplate.
I guess the fabric is woven as thick as what would be a breastplate on Abertoral.
They've got
they've got
Teflon
This is
thread.
why Realmspace needs to be its own thing.
Yeah.
Because why are you comparing this future sci-fi space hippo with a musket to
Something with a breastplate.
my rogue archer? Like it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Or just don't write breastplate down there. Like
Right.
that's cool too. Like
That could very well, by the descriptors given, be just natural armor.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, easily. I mean, it's a hippopotamus. They're tough. They are medium sized. So you asked if they were large earlier. They are mediums.
Okay. Because it's so borderline. Because I believe in general the cap for medium-sized creature is around 8 feet tall, and you said they were between 7 and 9 feet. But of course, that's only one direction of measurement, which we've kind of talked about before. Does height alone change the size of the designated size of a creature? There's got to be a certain width to consider as well.
And they I don't think they fit into either category, but maybe they do. Anyway, they are lawful neutral, which kind of to be expected.
Yep.
And the only real thing about the stat block that I take umbrage with is the thing that I normally dislike. They speak common.
Oh, see, that's just already a second piece of evidence that Realmspace and Starjammer need to have their own things, because it's like Pathfinder, where you can speak Taldan, but that will be common in a certain area of the world. If you're in Tianjia, if you speak Tian, that would be common in that part of the world. They have never really, deities, as far as I know, has never really broken it down that way. They just sort of assume, common, whatever, call it a day. It's universal.
And I'm fine with it being a universal language.
Sure.
But like English is getting that way. Like it's really based on trade routes and how well established things are. Right. I'm fine with it being known as common. I'm not fine with it being known as the only language that a group of space hippos with muskets speak.
Yeah. And if they do, and you're role playing them as a GM or whatever, like absolutely give them some ridiculous accent and like colloquialisms and dialects and really separate them from the norm. Especially if they're like, dropping in on Forgotten Realms territory or something like that. And Abertoral, like, give them something like fair, make their speech very far removed, even if it's capable of reasonable communication.
Yeah. Or, you could just do what I would do, and that's give them back the language Giff, which they had in 2nd and 3rd edition.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. So I'm cool with them having their own hippopotamus.
Heck yeah. They should
Yawny
have it. Absolutely
language.
Should have it, yeah. And you could even consider, like, common is something that, maybe the higher-ups know, because it's like maybe it's a part of officer education and something like that. Something that's a little more universal. Yeah.
Sure. I have a hard time believing that the language on Abertoral is the universal language in Realmspace.
Right. No, I'm with you.
So
yeah.
I think in this context, what they mean is it's the common language for your setting. So if you encounter a Giff on Abertoral, they speak common because they've been there for so long.
Right.
Or if you encounter a Giff in Realmspace, they speak whatever the common language is in Realmspace.
If you happen to meet one that just happened to recently crash land from Realmspace, not the same common.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fluid noun, I guess. Name of the language, and as somebody who's detail oriented, I hate it.
Yeah, totally.
But it's easily hand waved away, and it's an easy fix. If that's the worst part of the stat block to me, then I think they did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. All right, mate. Abilities.
Let's hit the stats first, because we did specifically point out in the notes that they're as strong as a hill giant.
Mm-hmm. Do you have
so hill giant strength is 21 or +5.
Okay.
The Giff is 18 or +4. So they're objectively not as strong as a hill giant, even though it says it in the book.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what about Dex and Constitution? Because those are very physical attributes.
So Dex of the hill giant is 8 or -1. The Giff is 14 or +2.
Okay. So pretty significant difference there.
Yeah. Con of the hill giant is 19 or +4. And the Giff is 17 or +3. So they're definitely comparable. They could go toe to toe.
Yeah, definitely.
It's when you use things like as strong as a hill giant, I expect its strength to match a hill giant.
It's the first thing you want to do is interpret that as very literally. But then, like, is it literally their strength, or is it the way their balance is? They can go toe to toe. Those are very different things, and therefore probably should be worded differently. But I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So there's nothing else to really write home about. Intelligence 11, Wisdom 12, Charisma 12. So they're exactly what you would kind of think.
Yeah.
They do have some cool abilities though.
Okay. Ooh, that's
so
exciting.
The first one is the least impressive. It's firearms knowledge, but they do ignore the loading properties of muskets and pistols, which is pretty huge.
Oh. How do they ignore them? Are they just that fast at the weapon, I guess?
I guess so.
They're just so quick at reloading that it just takes no time at all. Okay. They're John Wicks. I love it.
And the second ability is called Head First Charge.
Ooh, I like that.
So they move a minimum of 20 feet in a straight line that ends within 5 feet of a large or smaller creature. DC 14 strength save or 2d6 and knocked prone.
Okay. They have to move a minimum of 20 feet for this to be effective. And then is it they have to be able to end within 5 feet, or is it's if they do, then they can deliver the damage?
They have to end within 5 feet, so they have to end in melee combat. So they essentially just put their head down and they ram somebody.
Right. Okay. That's fun. Sweet. Getting ready into battle. Love it.
Really didn't expect that. And then we get immediately into their attacks, which there are a few of. The first here is they have multi-attack, so if they're using a pistol, they get 2 pistol attacks.
Okay.
With said pistol, they have a +4 to hit, 30 to 90 foot range, and it's 1d10 +2. So, you're doing a max of 24 damage on 2 pistol shots, which is fine at CR3 for sure.
Yeah. Multi-attack at CR3 is not something to scoff at.
Yeah. Their other ranged attack is a musket, which is a +4, 40 to 120 range, and that's 1d12 +2. So it's not much better. Got much farther range, though.
Yeah.
So there's that. And they have 1 melee attack, which is a longsword, +6 to hit, 5 foot reach. With one hand, it's 1d8 +4 slashing. With 2 hands, it is a 1d10 +4. So it is versatile. Weapon.
Yeah.
And then their last attack is once per day, they can use a frag grenade. So it's a 50-foot throw, 20-foot explosion radius, DC 15 dex save, or 5d6 piercing, half damage on a success.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I already have to say that I really love this stat block so far because of the theme, and I can literally picture the firing line, the multiple firing lines of Giff, where like they've got the muskets out and they fire because everything's at a certain distance, and then the next line behind them fires while they're reloading, although they ignore the reload. But 6-second time kind of between, and then things get closer and they pull out the pistols and they're and then things get a little bit that much more closer within 10 more feet or whatever, and then they draw the sword and fire.
They draw their sword, they put their head down, and they ram.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the rifles with the bayonets on them. Once you get at a certain point, you stop reloading and firing, and you start to run in, and all that just really adds up in this list of attacks. And of course, you have, not every Giff that's in the once it gets to the melee, they're not necessarily always, with a sword in hand. They might have the pistol in one hand and the sword in the other, and they're still firing off and swinging. And then someone's on the sidelines tossing grenades and in the right spot. I think it's all really, really well set up and cool.
Yeah, I really liked them too. And I especially like this little bit. This is in a little sidebar in the Tome of Foes. It is called Gunpowder by the Keg.
Okay.
So, Giff ships carry spare gunpowders and kegs, and a Giff on said ship, or around said ship, or near said keg can light the fuse and throw it 15 feet as part of the same action.
Ooh.
This keg of gunpowder explodes at the start of the Giff's next turn. It is a 20-foot radius, DC 12 dex save, 7d6 fire, and knocked prone, and half damage on a success.
Okay.
Every other keg within 20 feet of said explosion has a 50% chance of exploding as well.
Oh, God. Okay.
However, only one keg can explode per turn, no matter how many are caught in the blast radius.
Okay. This is something really to play with on a large battlefield kind of scale.
That is amazing.
I find it a bit strange that the radius is the same as the frag grenade.
Well, the frag grenade is so in my mind, it's how grenades work. Grenades are condensed gunpowder in a metal shell.
Right.
So it's not the explosion that's going the 20-foot radius. It's the shrapnel. Yeah. So this is the explosion that's going 20 feet.
Okay, that's fair. And then by the same token, do you think it's fair that the DC for the dex save is lower?
I do, because it doesn't explode until the next turn, so you have an opportunity to figure out where it's coming from and move out of the way. And there's every chance that you moving out of the way is just going to move you closer to another keg that's going to explode.
Right.
Because I don't have to tell you that another keg is whistling.
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
So you may dive out of the way of one only to be hit by 3 more.
Seriously.
Because it knocks you prone if you fail.
Right.
So if you fail one of these, you're knocked prone, and there's another one within 20 feet, you're auto-failing that next dex save. So
the only I would add a slight more not necessarily danger, but like unpredictability. That's totally a word, right? Where I would give it a knockback in addition to the knocked prone.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so you would, it could knock you into a safe spot as much as it could knock you into a more dangerous spot, but it would be a very jarring experience.
Yeah, I like that.
That's cool. That's really cool. Wow, what a lot of like simple, but like definitely a little bit different than we're used to. Kind of little tidbits there. That's really cool.
This is by far in my opinion, the best one-page creature we've done.
Yeah.
I don't like gunpowder. I don't care for, space in my game. I'm not into that stuff. But the condensing of the knowledge and the thematic appropriation of that knowledge in the stat block is second to none, in my opinion, that we've covered so far.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's simple, but it works really well. Like we've just both said over this episode, like we just wish there was more support for that, because if they did this so well, like hopefully they would do the whole setting really well. Why not? It's really cool. Definitely really cool.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this actually has to do with them not wanting to flush these creatures out at all. Mm-hmm. But it's clear by this creature that they don't need to. It doesn't matter that we don't know, how Giff ships are named. I don't care. What I care about is seeing that firing line, and then if they're retreating, them just whipping kegs of gunpowder off the bow of the ship, like.
And just reveling in the explosions.
Yeah. Like clicking their heels together and whistling and high-fiving.
Tiny British like cheers and stuff. Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome. Yeah, really cool. This was definitely a fun one. I don't really have anything to add to the stat block other than I would do the knockback in addition to the knock prone. It doesn't have to be much, 5-10 feet at most. I would say.
10 feet is a big knockback, so yeah. I'd go with 5 or into the next square or what.
Yeah, just on the adjacent square, in that's on the opposite direction of the explosion or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But I think you sold me on the differences of or the same radius, the differences of the DC, and I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool stat block and build. Common is, that's a fluid thing, something that we should always be considering languages in any game. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one.
Yeah, I am too. I also have nothing to add to it. I just cannot say enough how much I appreciate and I like it when stat blocks are done like this, even though I will never, ever use this creature.
Right.
It's stuff like this that makes me want to, because it's written so well. Mechanically, it comes off so well.
Yeah, it's sweet.
But what do you guys think? Am I wrong for not wanting to put Giffs in my game? Were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, what about? Okay. I don't know if you want to. This can be an excerpt, but what do you want? Do you want to talk about your thoughts on why where you are in gunpowder in the world? So I made a note for myself to come back to it.
I kind of don't, to be honest with you.
Sure.
That's it. Like if somebody wants to ask me about it on Patreon, like I'll happily, open up a Discord. But if I do, it'll end up being an excerpt anyway, and I don't see the value in it. We're not here to necessarily talk about my particular views as much as we are to educate. As much as we do talk about how much I like and hate things, that's something super personal and super niche, and I don't feel like it's applicable. Like a lot of the stuff we talk about can be applicable to any DM.
That's fine.
But why I specifically don't like an aspect of the game isn't applicable to anyone but me, really.
Yeah,
so if you want to hear it, for $1 a month, you can get into our private Discord, and you have a direct line. You can ask me about it. We'll jump into a voice chat. I'll have a beer, and I will rant at you because I don't think I'm going to give you time to talk. And if you enjoy that, for $5 a month, you can get a handwritten letter and access to the show notes where you can see how I misspelled marital and Marshall. So they are marital hippos. And then for $10 a month, you get all that, and you can suggest a creature. So maybe you want to hear us talk about the Giff, like you're super into Realmspace. You want an episode on the Zerai and the Yankee. Like, we'll do it. Oh. $10. We're cheap, man.
We are cheap. That'd be a lot of work, too.
And you get a shout out on the episode. You can show off to your friends. Be like, hey, I sponsored this episode. I bought him a 4-pack of beer and a cup of coffee.
Hell yeah.
But if you just want to get at us quick and dirty, you can get us on Twitter or Facebook at EncounterPod, Instagram at Encounter.pod, where you would definitely be able to see Mrs. Fluffy Lumpkins, the taxidermied Huberta, and my favorite image of Peter Potamus. For access to those back episodes, the Mind Flayer, the Wilds of Space, all that stuff can be found on our website at encounterthis.ca. And if you have a hot second when you're done listening to this, if you could rate and review us on the your platform of choice, if you haven't already, that would be fantastic. And if you could just tell somebody, tell your cat, hang a sign from your balcony that's just critty.
Yeah.
Anything. We solely rely on word of mouth, and we're doing well for an independent podcast, but it can always we can always have more help keeping the lights on.
Oh yeah. And producing more content.
Yeah.
I think I figured out what the public will choose for the plural of hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus?
No, it'd be hip hop anonymous. This is.
You give him all the easy ones.